doing what she has labelled her 2020 Yellow for Survivors Nostalgia Walk. From the 1st to the 16th of September, she will walk 28 kilometers per day for 16 days, remembering the day she survived her rape ordeal on the 16th of September 1992. Thabiso Sithole and video journalist Thabo Madilola caught up with Leilani as she prepared herself ahead of her 448-kilometer walk from Pretoria to Muldersdrift.
The guy who called himself Frankie, who raped me 28 years ago in the youth hostel in Pretoria, 1992. I was left for dead. And unfortunately, I was brutally raped on the 16th of September 1992. And this year it will be 28 years ago. And that's why I'm celebrating my life, because I'm alive, I'm here to make a difference. And you know what? I'm not crying about it anymore, because I've got a beautiful life, I've got lovely friends. And that is why my campaign is yellow, because I'm celebrating yellow. And I think that's what people must do as well. You must take control of your life. Because unfortunately, the more you give your perpetrator control, you're taking away a lot of happiness of yourself. You know, it's still painful. There's certain smells that upset me, because the guy who raped me had a sore on his hand. And there's a certain smell that I can't stand. So yes, it does affect me, you know. It's unfortunately something that will stay with me forever. Why are we doing this, you know? And I think there's wonderful men in this country. Not all men are bad, not all men are rapists. But gosh, I mean, if you look around, there are really bad guys out there, and they're giving men a bad name. And please, if you're a rapist, stop it. Go and look for help, because you are seriously sick and you are destroying lives. And I also just want to have a message to mothers. If your child comes to you and say they've been raped, please listen, because nobody lies about this. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of parents who doesn't believe the child. And it's heartbreaking for me. It's sad what's going on, because we're also just human, you know. We want to have a happy life. We want to feel safe if we walk somewhere. And I also want to encourage women and men or whoever to go and walk. There's so much power in walking. And this walking is, you just feel like alive. It takes a lot of the healing. It's a part of healing process. And talk to others. Tell people your story. Don't be embarrassed, because it wasn't your fault.
Don't be embarrassed, it wasn't your fault. Leilani is here to tell us more about her story as we celebrate Women's Month. Leilani's story is one of the will to overcome. It's a story which she says she hopes can help other rape survivors. Leilani, thank you very much indeed for your time. Welcome to the agenda.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity.
Look, I was just listening attentively to that story that Thabiso and Thabo did with regards to your walk. Such a powerful statements you make. But for context, this might be a terrifying trip back. But if you will, just tell us a bit more about your story.
Yeah, so I lived in a youth hostel in Pretoria. I was 18 years old when it happened, on the 16th of September 1992, when I was brutally raped by a guy called Frankie. I didn't know him. He called himself Frankie. He introduced himself as Frankie. And I guess I was just in the wrong time, wrong place. Since I've been walking last year and talking more about my incident of 28 years ago, I realized today why I'm still here, why I'm alive, because I was supposed to be dead. But I'm grateful to be here and to be able to make hopefully a difference in somebody else's life, and to remind people they are not alone. I am not ignorant. I know my walk is not necessarily going to stop it. But I hope in my heart that if you are a rapist, that you do realize what you are doing to others, and that you think about it very, very deeply. And also, if I can make a difference in one victim's life, to remind them they are not alone. And we're in this together.
The perpetrator, was he arrested? Is he in jail currently?
Unfortunately, they never caught him. In 1992, the police guy in Afrikaans just said,
dis die 6de een al hierdie week en he threw his hand in the air, was very nonchalant about it. So unfortunately it left a very bad taste about the police. You know, imagine being 18 years old, you're supposed to become an adult and live your life and have trust in the police. Yeah, so it wasn't good for me, you know. But they never caught him. There was 2 or 3 people who tried to reopen the case again. I've got no idea where he is. I don't know him at all. But a lot of people ask me, what will I do if I do see him again? I've just got one question for him. What happened in his life that he can think it's okay to take my life? That's all I want to ask him. I'm not angry at him anymore. I don't have any hatred. I'm not bitter. It took many years to actually feel like this. You know, I've had a lot of anger in me for many, many years. But today I'm 46. I live a beautiful life. I'm very grateful for all the amazing things in my life. But it takes time to get there.
Yeah.
And also, if you're listening, if anybody's listening this morning and they're going through it, I think I've got it easy. They must not for one moment think that. That is why I want you to understand it takes time. But don't do it on your own.
You need that support system, and that powerful statement that you made at the end of the package, don't be embarrassed. It's not your fault. I guess it's a refrain that needs to be said over and over again in order for survivors to understand that this is not their fault. It's the person who did this. That's their problem. The men are the problem, as the president was saying earlier on as well, a couple of months ago. South Africa has really experienced a disturbing surge in the murder of young women at the hands of men. And as the president wrote recently, these are shocking acts of inhumanity that have no place in our society. It brings, I guess, once again into sharp focus the grim reality facing us. But take us through that journey, Leilani, that you went through and the different stages. You said initially you were very angry. Talk to us about the transition to a place where you can finally be at peace with what has happened and go out on the streets and help others.
I just want to use this opportunity. Okay? I'm not a political person, but
Sure.
I want to use this opportunity this morning, okay? Just to tell you something that I feel very strong about Harman Mashaba's comment about the death penalty. I totally support it 200%. So if he's listening, I'm on your side on this, because we need to start making an example of these people, because I do not belong in society. Okay, so that's just me being very serious about this. So it's been a long journey. You know, it's been a very difficult road. I've tried to commit suicide before. I've been in very verbal, abusive relationships. I've made very bad decisions in my life, and I don't want to blame it on that. But I think if you're walking around with so much pain and anger, and you need to put on a face for the world out there, and you know, unfortunately, you go and hide your pain in other places. So yeah, I've done that for many years, and since I've been, you know, I'm quite a positive person of nature.
Yeah.
So I've used sport as my what would you call it? You know, really like my go-to thing to do. And this is why I will also encourage people, because unfortunately a lot of people eat them, you know, they eat a lot, or they go to alcohol or drugs, or maybe prostitution, or they keep on being in bad relationships. And, you know, just to move your body, just to get out there, being active and walking and maybe writing or painting, whatever you have to do. But it's so healthy for you to get rid of this anger and this pain in you. I can't even describe how important it is. So that has been my journey. That is why I can really look back at it today, and I don't want to call myself a rape survivor anymore. I've decided 2020, I want to be called an activist. I'm going to take the word hashtag rape survivor off my t-shirt this year, because I am over it now, really. I want to only be there for others now. I don't want to be called that anymore. Yes, I will always be a survivor, and I want people to hear really clearly what I'm trying to say. You deserve to get where I am. Do not take 28 years to get there. Okay, so this is really, you know, I've been very blessed with amazing friends in my life, with amazing people. Also, surround you with people who are positive in your life. Yeah. I'm not just talking about motivating you every day, but get out of a situation. Another lady, I can't unfortunately call her name, But she contacted me. She's been raped with her brothers and father. Has been raping her constantly, okay? And I've been walking with her quite a journey to just move away from them. If you're in a situation like this, please make contacts so we can see where we can help you with, so you can get out of the situation. Because yes, it's tough, but there are amazing places out there who really wants to help you guys, and that is where I'm walking. I'm raising funds for these organizations to give them money.
Yeah.
To make sure that if you knock on their doors, they would be able to help you. Unfortunately, I'm only one person, but hopefully people see what I'm doing and they're getting on board. You know, I'm not gaining financially out of this.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it because it's helping me. I'm loving it. If I can become South Africa's walker for rape survivors, that will be the best thing ever for me. I will really want to be that voice. You know, I really think that God gave me this voice, this spontaneous personality. I'm an extrovert. I'm not shy to speak. That is why I said to you earlier, I know why I wasn't killed. I know why I'm here today. It's to tell people my story, to really encourage others.
Yeah. And you have to believe, I guess, in the power of purpose. The reason why you have this voice, and your voice, believe me, is coming through loud and clear. You know, the question, I guess, and when you speak to a lot of activists like yourself, what is at the core of gender-based violence? Some would say toxic masculinity. It stems from teaching boys that they need to repress their emotions. They need to act in an aggressively dominant way, that anything other than that makes them weak. It can manifest itself in acts like bullying or even catcalling. What is the best way, do you think, from your experience, to get through to men, to abandon this boys will be boys mentality and instead, I guess, hold other men accountable for misogynistic attitudes and behaviors?
I think one thing parents can start to do now, that it doesn't matter about rich or poor, okay, is to teach a boy, you will be one day become a parent. And that is something, because you hear a lot of these guys, okay, they've been in jail or they've done some bad things, but the moment they become a parent, it's like they change. And I think most of these people must be brought up in a manner to say, listen, you must think about everything you do in life is going to have consequences. Yes, it's maybe a dare from your brothers, or maybe your mother didn't treat you well, or maybe you're from a rich family, you didn't get attention, or whatever your story is. Because unfortunately, a rapist doesn't look like a rapist all the time. Yeah. It can be very attractive men. Do not be fooled, okay? It can be really anybody. But if you are that kind of person and you're listening to me this morning, go and think about your consequences, because the chances that you're going to become a parent is quite high. And do you want to be a dad or a grandfather or an uncle or a nephew or whoever, or maybe CEO of a company who's got that behind you? No.
Through your activism, through your work on the ground, what's your thoughts with regards to, are we so busy helping women get through the immediate trauma of violence that preventative measures are lagging behind? Are we investing enough on the prevention of gender-based violence?
No, we don't. No, we don't. And I think something very important, and I really hope this message gets to the right people, is we need to start at our police stations. I really feel strong about this, about that we must have a separate place at each police station where they are treated with professional people, not necessarily psychologists, but with maybe a woman on the other side, or maybe somebody who's got a bit more empathy, because this is one of the big reasons why a lot of women and men who are getting raped, who doesn't want to go to the police stations because it's trauma all over again. I've heard this from so many people who said to me, Leilani, this is the one reason why I do not want to go and report my story or my incident, because of the way they are treating you at the police station. They make you feel like you are the bad person. You've looked for it. It's your fault. So if we can just start there, I think that alone can make a huge, huge difference.
Yeah. Leilani, an activist, the reason why we give you this length of time on this program is because it's an important story to tell, and we admire your strength in the face of pain. We appreciate you coming on and sharing your story with us. Blessings to your family and good health during this uncertain time. God bless, be well.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Keep well.
All right, you too. There you go. Powerful story that you heard from Leilani. giving other rape survivors, she wants to be called an activist, giving other rape survivors a sense of hope that they can overcome this. She says, don't be embarrassed. It's not your fault. Very powerful indeed. All right, another news. Funeral service of veteran